I'm in a fencer stance. When I get ready to actually make the adjustment, my external notch should be slightly below my contact. I'm going to rock forward and over it, and then I would thrust. I'm transferring my body weight and thrust. Okay? My line of correction is going to be P to A, I to S along that 60-degree angle of sets. Okay? That's my unilateral ipsilateral. I have a unilateral contralateral. Now my hands change. Superior hand is my contact hand. Inferior hand is my stabilizing hand. Take a tissue pull with my stabilizing hand. P to A, I to S, medial to lateral. I slide in at a slightly different angle, where before my knife edge would have been at 12 o'clock. This one's going to be roughly at 1 or 2. Okay? Stabilize. And again, fencer stance. I'm going to rock forward and over my contact. Line of correction is going to be the same, P to A, I to S along the 60-degree angle. Boom. Okay? Those are my unilateral contacts. Now I have a bilateral contact. It's also known as a crossed bilateral. Okay? So this is a hypothenar transverse push. Okay? So the only thing that's different about this setup versus the unilateral ipsilateral setup is that my stabilization changes. Everything else is the same. Okay? Take my tissue pull, make my contact with my inferior hand, and then I'm going to slide across to the opposite TVP at the segment below. Okay? Again, I'll transfer body weight and thrust. Okay? P to A, I to S along that 60-degree angle of the set. Now, I'm going to also show you this. There's another bilateral contact that you can make that would be a contralateral contact as well, but the stabilization hand does not go over the top. That would be kind of hard to do. It'll come underneath, laying flat on the opposite pair of spines. Then I transfer my body weight and thrust. Okay? That's 2 bilaterals, 2 unilaterals that we just went through. We have one more bilateral setup to talk about. That's our rotary setup. It is always ipsilateral, and that is going to be an inferior hand contact, just like we've been doing so far. Tissue pull, P to A, I to S, medial to lateral. I slide in. Now my contact hand's going to be at 11 o'clock from the side that I'm standing on. Okay? I'm going to slide right across the top to the opposite TVP, and I'm going to be at about 2 o'clock there. Now, I start in a fencer stance, but this one's going to require a change of stance for me because we're going to torque. Okay? I'm going to step forward and rotate. Okay? So, fencer stance to a toggle stance. Here. Now, that's the mid portion. If you were to go ahead and finish the thrust, our hands would follow through. 11 and 2, 12 and 3, 1 and 4. Clockwise torque. Okay, so P to A, I to S along that 60-degree angle of the sets with a clockwise torque for the one I just showed you. Okay, that's a rotary setup. Now we have bilateral setups. We have a double thenar. My double thenar looks like this. Okay, now I can do straight posterior listings here, or I can do a rotary listing. Usually my contact hand that I'm thrusting through mostly would be my contralateral contact because it's just easier to be able to make that happen. If I wanted to adjust for a rotary listing that I need to be thrusting mostly through this side, I'd be standing opposite of that. Okay? That's my double thenar. Now I have a double knife edge. Okay? Remember the school logo? Hands are together at the heel of the hand. MCPs where the actual contact is being made. Tips of my fingers are just touching. Now I can do a body drop, or I can do a hammer chisel thrust here. Okay? Be careful with that one because it does not require a lot of thrust or body drop. Okay? Again, P to A, I to S along the 60-degree angle of set for line of correction. Okay? Now that's our double knife edge. We have sided tables that we went to next. My sided table, thumb spinous push. Ipsilateral contact. Superior hand's my contact hand. I'm going to be on the side of spinous rotation. I'm at T1. Now these side table setups that I'm showing you are T1 to T3. Everything that we've done up to this point was T4 to T12. Okay? So tissue pull on the trap, place my thumb against the spinous process. I'm going to have the patient turn their head so the spinous comes towards my contact. That's away from me. I'm going to stabilize, thenar on the mastoid, a little bit of I to S traction. My forearm should be parallel to the floor and perpendicular to the segmental contact. My line of correction is lateral to medial, in this instance left to right. Head straight down forward. We have a contralateral version. Now my inferior hand's my contact hand. I'm in fencer stance close to the table again. I'm going to reach across, take my tissue pull of the trap. I'm going to thread my thumb against the spinous process. I'm going to have the patient turn their head this time toward me. This direction. I'm going to place my thenar on the mastoid, cupping the ear, a little bit of I to S traction. Now I have to be over the patient a little bit more, so the table may need to be lowered. In this instance, it probably would help. Now my forearm is not going to be parallel, but it will be at a 30 to 45 degree angle to the floor, but still perpendicular to my segmental contact. I'm still coming straight across. Okay? Lateral medial for this contact to be right to left. I have a side of table pisiform TVP push. In this instance, we're back to body rotation. So I have a left posterior for what I'm about to set up on. I take a tissue pull, follow that up with my contact on the TVP. Patient's going to turn their head such that the TVP comes up toward my contact. That means toward me. Just like that. I'm going to stabilize, thenar on the mastoid, cupping the ear, head, fingers toward the top of the head. Now I'm going to accommodate for the kyphosis as part of my line of correction, meaning I'm going to lean forward some. Line of correction still P to A, I to S along 60 degree angle of the set. Okay? Turn your head straight down. Now that's our 3-sided table setups. We have a head of table thumb spinous push. Now y'all might want to move around because I don't think you want to be standing right directly behind me. All right. Now, using the back of my hand, if I have a spine, and again, we're going towards spinous, side of spinous rotation. In this instance, I'm saying that the spinous is going to the patient's left. I'm making my contact with my right hand. Take a tissue pull with the back of my hand, thread my thumb up next to it. My forearm should again end up being parallel and perpendicular to my contact. Now, I can do one of two stabilizations. I can do a bilateral contact, thumb and chiropractic index finger on the mastoids, cupping the back of the occiput, a little bit of I to S traction, parallel and perpendicular. Line of corrections, lateral to medial. In this instance, left to right. Okay? Now I can also do that same setup and stabilize with the patient turning their head to this side, right over here, just like that. Hypothenar on the mastoid. This time I just let my fingers relax. Again, parallel and perpendicular. Okay? Straight down. Now, those are all of the prone thoracic moves that we've gone through. Last thing I've got to do would be my supine move, so I need you to turn over on your back again. Sorry to keep doing that to you. Don't forget, the headpiece needs to come up for any one of these. Okay? Now I have two supine versions of this, an ipsilateral and a contralateral, which we just practiced today. If I'm doing an ipsilateral contact, the arm on the side that I'm standing on is going to be the one that's on top. So we'll put that arm there, that one over that one, bring those elbows together for me. I will roll you away from me just a bit. Open hand contact, find the segment below the segment of listing. My hand is definitely on that top elbow. If it can span both of them, I will do that. I'm going to have that hand mid-pec or mid-sternum if I can get over it. Okay? My line of correction is A to P, I to S. Don't forget, turn your head, don't look straight down into their face. Okay? All right. That's an ipsilateral contact. If I want to do a contralateral contact, now we're going to change the patient's arm position because the approach to my contact is going to be from the opposite side. So I'll roll the patient toward me, slide into where I need to be, roll the patient back on, and remember, this is a bilateral contact as well. Bring those elbows together for me. Right here's where I want to be. And because I'm having to get over the patient, I want to square my shoulders as much as I possibly can. I'll be closer to being mid-sternum here. And again, it's going to be A to P, I to S. Right here. Okay? Now that's both of the supine versions. Let me have you sit. Now, I'm going to lower the table for you just a little bit. All right. Now, Remember that for the seated to supine anterior thoracic move, we need to have the foot piece in. Just lay it down here for me if you would. This looks just like the supine ipsilateral version. The only difference is the position that I'm starting with the patient, okay? I'm going to have them cross their arms just as if I were doing ipsilateral. I'm going to make my contact again on the segment below the segment of listing. So if, let's say, got T5, anterior, inferior, I'm setting up on T6, okay? So I'm here. Move your head forward in this instance. I want you to take a deep breath, blow it out, lay back. I'm going to come back onto my hand, and I got lucky. I didn't fall into that hole, okay? Again, mid-pec, mid-sternum, and then I thrust A to P, I to S. Now, don't forget that you need to step with the patient, because even with her, if I didn't step and she went back, she would pull me over, okay? I don't want to fall on the patient or on the floor for that matter. Okay. Questions?